Hey, Marty and Anna. I hope you guys are doing okay. Let me just first introduce myself to you, since you don't know me probably at all. But I think we have a common denominator in that we have a friend, and that is Jason Peterson. Jason and his wife. I did their wedding, and I've known Jason for a long, long time. I can't, probably when I entered into junior high out in Simi Valley is when I met Jason. And so Jason's been just a buddy and a friend for a long period of time. And he reached out to me the other day, and he has a friend, and that's you, Marty, that he wanted some prayer for. And I thought, and he thought, it would be a great idea to just send a video of encouragement to you and to Anna. And first, a little bit about me. I'm a musician, Marty, so when I looked at your Facebook page and all that, it of course, struck me because I too am a guy who loves music and grew up playing guitar, was very influenced by, of course, Randy Rhoads from the Valley. I was born in Encino, lived as a kid in North Hollywood. And so, like many, kids growing up, Randy Rhoads was our idol. And lo and behold, we all wanted to be like Randy, right? I mean, who doesn't want to be such a good guitar player? But anyway, I went and studied classical guitar at a very young age, and was not raised in the church, by the way. Wasn't raised around anything of the Bible or church people. And I was just a young guitar player, and loved playing and played a lot, and had bands when I was in elementary school and just played all kinds of music. Was very influenced by Iron Maiden. That was probably one of the bigger bands that I liked, but I loved bands like Wasp and Odin and all kinds of Black and Blue, and I mean all kinds of just bands that a lot of people, Grim Reaper, I don't know if you remember them. But I liked all kinds of bands, man. And of course, Metallica, Megadeth, and all that. But my story is kind of interesting in that it was through bands like Iron Maiden and Metallica that I started hearing a theme. And I went to go see Dio in the 7th grade and was really influenced by Dio. And I think of Heaven and Hell when he was in Black Sabbath. And anyway, there was always these themes that I got in my metal upbringing in SoCal. And that was this idea of there's good and bad, and there's a God and there's a devil, and this whole thing. Now, I wasn't raised like that, so I always was curious about it. And ended up wanting to read the Bible at some point. And that was kind of a big deal for me because I don't know about you, Marty and Anna, but I just was not raised around it. I was raised very kind of against it, if anything. And for me to pick up a Bible and start reading was kind of a big deal, for me to just kind of pick up this Christian thing. But I ended up doing that, and I was very influenced by people in Alcoholics Anonymous because I was raised in a Alcoholics Anonymous home from the time I was 13 on. And so I've always been kind of in and out of recovery, if you will. And my biological dad was. And my dad got sober and was sober the last 35 years of his life, which was awesome. And so it was through AA that I ended up kind of hearing about kind of more about the Bible, about God and things like that. And I started reading the Bible when I was 17. I never would have guessed, Marty and Ana, that I would have helped start a church and be a pastor. It was not even in the cards. I was a classical guitar player. I went to university for classical guitar. I was a very good classical guitar player. I won guitar competitions. That's kind of what I was known for. Growing up in Simi Valley was playing guitar and playing guitar fairly well. And that was my identity. I did not plan to grow up and be a pastor at a Calvary Chapel church. Yet, obviously, God had other ideas for me, man. And lo and behold, that's what I've been doing the last 32 years now in the state of Arizona, is I've been a minister at a Calvary Chapel. And so when my friend Jason reached out to me to encourage you and Marty and Ana, your wife, man, I certainly jumped to it and wanted to encourage you. So I want to bring up a couple passages that you guys are probably familiar with, but I'm going to bring them up and just kind of talk about them a little bit. One of them is Psalm 45. It says, God is our refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not fear when earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. Let the oceans roar and foam. Let the mountains tremble as the waters surge. The idea there is, though everything goes to pot, I'm going to trust in God. And one thing we learn on this planet is that we are fragile. We are fragile. And I know, Marty, you've just gone through a stroke and it's really done its thing in you. But we all have wake-up calls. We all have moments where we realize that we just can't seem to sustain health and wealth and everything forever. That truly, as the Psalms say, and what's cool about the Psalms, Marty and Ana, is they're songs. These are lyrics, to what? I don't know. I don't know what kind of music. Was it the old version of metal or what? But these are lyrics. And one of the Psalms I really like is Psalm 73. Psalm 73, 25, 26. But I really love that 26 part. So it's Psalm 73, 26 that says, our heart and flesh will fail, or my heart and flesh will fail, but God is the strength and my portion forever. And what that means is that though my heart will fail, and it will, I wish it didn't. I wish it wouldn't fail my kids. I wish it wouldn't fail my wife. I wish it wouldn't fail, whoever, my friends. But it's gonna. That though my heart and flesh fail, God is the strength of my heart and my portion. He's my nutrition. And what we're reminded of when we go through trials like our hearts failing, our mind failing, is that really what we have to hold on to is God. He alone is the concrete, always will be there. He is the consistent one, the faithful one. So though everything else seems scattered, even our own bodies seem scattered, God is consistent. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. So God's love is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He is going to love you. His grace is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He will grant grace to you, forgiveness to you, mercy to you, and to me, which is amazing. Because in a world that is so filled with inconsistencies and trials and difficulties and despair, It's good to be able to know that there's something and someone who is concrete, who will never fail you. And that's God. God never fails. So when it says, hey, the earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea and the oceans roar and foam and the mountains tremble, it's saying that God is our refuge and strength, that God is the person we can go to. And I know you know that now, Marty and Anna, that you guys could go to God, and you guys are going to God. And that's the great thing. And that's what encourages us. If you could believe it, even Marty, when you are weak and you feel weak, as you hold on to God, there's a beautiful reaction to that, a ripple effect that encourages us to hold on to God too. So even when you are weak, man, God uses you powerfully and you become strong. In our weakness, God is manifest. Man, God moves, even when we can't do much. But what we can do and what you guys are doing is holding on to God. And that's beautiful. Now, the other passage I wanted just to kind of bring up, if I can, just give me a second here. There we go. Is this Matthew 11:28 and 20. And I've always loved this passage. It's one that Brian Head Welsh has, I think, tattooed on his arm from Korn, the guitar player. It says, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, the reason why I love that one so much is just because, Jesus is unique. Jesus is unique because he is the deity on the planet. And so God, the God of the Bible, doesn't just say, hey, this is what you need to do to be saved. He's not like just a coach that just says, hey, bro, this is what you need to do I'm a hockey guy, on the ice. This is what you got to do. He's not just a coach like that, but then he gets on the skates and he gets a stick and he comes out on the ice and he scores a goal. And he wins the game for you. That's what Jesus is doing. Jesus is God in human flesh, gets on the ice, gets a stick, and he's going to win salvation for all of us. The Bible says God is the author and the finisher of our faith. He's not just the creator of our salvation, but he's the winner of our salvation, the one who finishes it. The reason why I love that, the idea of Jesus saying, come to me, is because that's really where it's at. I mean, who are we going to go to really when the chips are down? I mean, who has the power to really deal with what we need dealt with? And that is our inability to live forever, our inability to get healed, our inability, right, to get right. Jesus is the one who says he can do it, and he comes into the world to do it for you and for me. He takes a body. He goes into that thing called death. The thing that all those heavy metal songs are talking about, right? The darkness and death and all that. And he goes into it to win it. That's what the resurrection's all about. He goes into death with a body, and he literally wins. He literally defeats and conquers what we can't conquer. And he says, he who trusts in me, they too will conquer it as well. You will live also. Just as I live, you will live too. Trust in me. I have gone into the portal, Jesus says, and man, I've won it. And even if you're going to go, when you go through that portal, man, you are going into victory. You're not going into defeat. It might feel like defeat, but it ain't, because Jesus has reversed the situation. He has touched death itself, and when God touches something, he changes it. That's the nature of God. God is life. And when he touches even death, it becomes birth. it becomes new life. Now, the reason why I say that is because when Jesus is saying, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, boy, man, I tell you what, if we can come to Jesus and go, Jesus, you conquered even death, then boy, man, everything's licked. What do I have to worry about? I mean, I could really trust you, Jesus, and you're going to do, man, a work. You've already done the great work. I can just hold fast to you. And, trust that you're going to guide me through this. And though there's times of difficulty, and though there's times where, man, our bodies are flailing and failing and going through their thing, perhaps God will heal us. And there'll be a physical healing on the planet. But no matter what, He is healing us. He is healing us to get us into that eternal kingdom. Unscathed, man. The path is set. It is laid out before us. Jesus has come to say, I am revealing the truth of God, and I am going to win this thing for you. I'm going to do it for you. Man, I'm going to help you in every way. And so when Jesus says, come to me, all who are heavy laden, and I will give you rest, He can give us real rest. The rest we ultimately need to know that we are forgiven, cleansed, made right, that, man, in Jesus, I am seen as a child of God, me, and that's hard to believe, right? Because you kind of go, man, I've done a lot of this, I've done a lot of that, I've done a lot of all kinds of stuff. But yet, in Jesus, I am forgiven. He has laid down His life for me. That's the kind of love God has for us in the Bible. And I just want to encourage you in all that beautiful teaching that you just grip a hold of Jesus, man, where you're at. And, I want to encourage you too that, you are going to be on our church prayer email that goes out. And we're going to be praying for you, Marty, and for your wife, Ana, for healing, for help, for peace, for serenity, and for your faith too, that you just continue to hold fast to the greatest Savior ever, Jesus, Yeshua, Joshua. And man, you just hold on to Him. By the way, that's His, Greek name and His Hebrew name, Joshua being the Hebrew, right? Yeshua can be pronounced Yahshua. And Jesus is, anyway, just, you get it. We're all talking about the same person. But we'll put you on that list, man. We'll be praying for you. Today I got a podcast at 4 o'clock Arizona time. And I'll pray for you too on that podcast. That's going to go live on YouTube at it's called A Reason for Hope. And that's what the kind of, if you go to YouTube and you type in A Reason for Hope, you'll get to our podcast station, our portal or whatever it's called, channel. That's what it's called. And you can check it out. We'll go live and we'll pray for you there too, Marty, today. Okay, so it's March 6th. It's Friday. And this is Bo, one of the pastors here at Calvary Christian Fellowship in Tucson, a Calvary Chapel church. But definitely a metal dude, guy who loves it, loves punk, loves all kinds of stuff. And so I'm with you, brother, and thinking of you. And I thank Jason for reaching out to me too to prepare something for you guys, okay? So we'll catch you hopefully later. Maybe I'll hear back from you guys, okay? So take care. Bye-bye.